to Sister Conversations. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Rochelle Langford. I am the host for today. I have a special guest with me here on the panel. We start off with our girl, Pink. Hello. Hi. Yeah, and Vicky over here. And then we have Jordan. And then Mr. Corey. Okay, so we are going to dive into the discussion of dating in different age brackets. So I want to focus on everyone's opinion on men dating these younger women. I'm talking about 20-year-olds, okay? There was a soundbite where Shaquille O'Neal said that when he's 80 years old, he's going to be on a yacht, and he basically is going to be a 20-year-old. And that was astonishing to hear, because I'm like, why? I mean, you're going to be old as hell. So what you want with a 20-year-old? I mean, what is your perspective? Let's start with the man. So this is y'all, kind of representing that. I want to see what your opinion is on what Shaq's perspective is. Maybe what you got?
Oh, man. Plain and simple, no old man wants an old woman. Period. So the fact that he can say that comfortably should show that that's the normal of how he thinks. I honestly believe that a lot of guys that date younger women are guys that might not be able to emotionally or mentally handle someone that's their age. And the reason for that is how I grew up is how other women grew up. Like there was structure, there was understanding, there wasn't a large level of social media influence. It was, if I liked you, I like you. You like me. Because of that, now when you have somebody that's so much older, then you have somebody that's younger. Now what we're talking about is experience versus opportunity. And she's probably going to trust in me, especially if she's had a relationship with her father. She's probably going to trust in me to lead her the right way, but she hasn't lived long enough.
Okay, so you're saying, let me grasp on that. So you're saying because of the young lady maybe not having their father, they're going to pursue older men. Anybody else have something to say about that?
That's his perspective on that. I look at it as if you got younger women now that's maturing older, and you got older women that are coming down and trying to be young. When the older women come down young, they want to live this young lifestyle life like the 20-year-old. So the 20-year-old is trying to look for maturity in a man, because men in her age are not mature. They're not grown. They don't know how to handle them. They don't know how to protect them. They don't know how to provide for them. They don't know how to make them safe. So they look for the safeness in an older man.
Okay. Yeah. Y'all have to come on with it, because I totally have something to say about that. Especially when you say, Corey, the older women are trying to be young. Yes, please. The women here, we got to defend ourselves.
This is what I would say, and this is just my opinion. I don't have a problem with an older man dating a younger woman, as long as it's not in a manipulative way. You know what I mean? As long as you're trying to get that woman and say, you know what, you're young. Let me teach you about credit. Let me teach you about finances. Let me teach you something. Not just like, oh, let me get this young girl and let me see how many ways I could flip her this way and flip her that way and mess her like that's where I have the problem. You know what I mean?
I agree.
And I feel like when it comes to a younger girl's perspective, I feel like you say it's more so of having a father, but I feel like it comes with more so the lack. Because with a young girl and an older man, there's no love there. You know what I'm saying? There's no real attraction from that young girl, unless he just an older, good-looking sugar daddy. But at 80, you know what I mean? Shaq could have young girls at 80 because he's financially stable to have that. You know what I mean? Young girls still gonna want to get on the yacht with the 80-year-old man. They're still gonna have 5-star with the 80-year-old man. Like they still gonna want to go to Chanel, Gucci with the 80-year-old man. You know what I mean? So we can't stop a 20-year-old from dating an 80-year-old man. But with me, it's all about the what are you doing? You know what I mean? As an older man.
It's like the intention.
Yeah, the intention for me. You know what I mean? I mean, with a younger girl, you already know what the intention is. Yes, she's gonna probably need a financial daddy or whatever you want to call it. But you know, as long as you know that's what you're getting yourself into with the older man, then I don't see a problem with it.
Well, vice versa with that. I feel as though that, and again, older women have already experienced what a young women have already experienced. So, with that being said, you said something. You was like, Gucci, Shaq, and he's cost efficient. But believe it or not, he's grooming you. So when you used to that lifestyle, so when you want somebody serious and want to do somebody serious, you're not gonna be able to accept it because you think and you put a standard and a boundary on a man thinking that he's Shaq, and that's not normal.
No, I'm not.
That's not right to a man that want to show you genuine love.
No, let me say this. When I was in my 20s, I dated an older man. You know what I mean? I mean he wasn't like 80, you know what I mean? But he was like probably like 10, 12 years older than me. You know what I mean? And I just had turned 21. So me meeting him, like I knew it was like to date a financially stable man, like, you know, like good life. But I also knew the control that came with it. Yeah. So with me, what I did, I bossed up. I became the woman with the money. You know what I mean? So you could take me to 5-star, I could take you to 5-star.
Right.
But if you don't act right at this 5-star restaurant, then I'm out with the
Right.
next man that could give me 5-star, or I could take myself.
Well, here's the problem with that. So he made you an animal. He made you a beast out of it, right? So and again,
I wouldn't necessarily say that because I mean I dated after him. It was more financially stable man. I didn't just go from a financially stable man to a bum.
Well, he's saying
No,
like because
no.
that experience, that exposure,
Right.
he like kind of upped you.
He made you a beast.
He improved you in
Right.
a sense. I mean, what do you think about that?
Yeah, because of that is why I became financial. Like he still taught me. You know what I mean? I still learned about financial literacy. I still learned about good credit. Like I was 23 driving an Audi. Like you know what I mean? Like I learned from men that were just financially stable.
No, that's good that you cleared that up because you know that's what the perspective was. So we're thinking about money, but it's not.
It's not.
Okay. So the takeaway. So this is good. So the older man that you dated taught you some financial acumen.
Mhm.
That's really good. So that's your benefit.
Mhm.
So that's awesome. Okay, so we're coming down here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish I had that experience in my 20s because the older man that I was with, he had money, but he had street money.
Okay.
So he didn't teach me nothing,
Oh, okay.
but he was controlling. And
Yeah.
he was abusive.
Mhm.
Oh, wow.
So-
Yes. Okay.
So, you know, that really turned me off from like really dating older. I was 21, he was 37.
Oh,
So
yeah.
the adverse
Yeah.
is that
Yeah.
you had a negative experience. Okay.
But
So what he was like controlling because you were young.
and he like sponsored my apartment. And then he moved himself in. I couldn't get this man out. But he was giving me money every time we had an argument. He would find a jury at his pieces. He was giving me that. But like every time he started to find things to argue about, and 6 months in, I started getting my ass beat. You know what I'm saying? So my experience was really different. So he was the type of older guy that really wanted to control and manipulate a younger woman.
So-
I want to get to how you got out of that because
Yeah.
there's women out there that's in the same situation,
Yeah.
abusive, controlling, and how do they get out of that?
It was a hard fight, you know, because initially I called police and they're like, well, he lives here, we just can't like force an eviction, you gotta like get an eviction. But then one day, he threatened me and I knew there were guns in the house, he had like a lot of guns.
Mhm.
And so basically, I had him arrested on that and then I got a restraining order.
Gotcha.
And then the community resources like gave me a check to like move.
Right, yeah,
So-
because of the domestic violence.
hey, I apologize for all men out there that's abusing women, man.
Yeah.
So, that ain't what we do.
That's a sensitive.
That's not what we
subject.
do.
So
That's why I wanted to come back to that because there's a lot of young women in those situations that are still trapped. So thank you for sharing that, you know, so give them some tidbits to get out of that situation. Okay, so let's go back to Corey because it kind of segues into like why do men prefer to date younger women, and you said your experience, you were young and dating older women. So kind of answer both of those questions from your perspective. Why do you think older men want to pursue younger women, and then your experience on the adverse?
I feel as though older men pursue younger women because they feel like older women are set in their way, and they feel like to some capacity they can take a younger woman, and it's like you training. And I don't want to use this terminology. Forgive me for saying it, but I want you to see what I'm trying to say. It's like training a dog. So basically, you get a younger woman, and you kind of groom her into what you think you want her to be. You groom her into that. Not only with that luxury, you kind of show her, like the young lady said, she knew credit. He taught her credit. Just a lot of stuff that you can teach a younger woman, and she's willing to listen. Versus an older woman, an older woman set in their way. They probably already financial set, good. They don't really want to hear that. They don't want to hear a perspective of I don't like to use the term alpha male, but a stern man, a real man.
Okay, so you're trying to say the younger women is more receptive of being told what to do versus
Everything we do is a tone. So don't no younger woman want to hear, you need to do this. Because that's like
older women or younger women?
younger women. They don't want to hear no older man telling them what they need to do.
Like the younger women feels like they don't have a voice because they're young. They don't know as much. And I think a older man will take advantage of that.
No, because I feel like it literally depends on the man. Like, if you have a man that just ain't nothing, yeah, he's gonna get a 20-year-old and he gonna take her up through there. But you could get a good older man that just really wanna, like he say, just look good on my shoulder. You know what I mean? It don't even have to be about sex. Like, it literally could just be a conversation.
Company.
It could be, it could be just, he just wants somebody to step out with, like, you know what I mean? Like, I just hate when people just make everything such a sexual thing. Like, it's not always about sex. Sometimes it's just, like, with dating older men, they always tell you, like, you just bring out the youthfulness in me. You know what I mean? They just want to feel that again. They want to feel alive. I feel like an older woman can do it, but
they set in their way.
I just also feel like some things are just not just restricted to age, though. It's just about your character, your experiences, your culture. Because like I have a little cousin, she's 24. You can't tell her nothing. She's set. There's also older women that can be more amiable because they know from the last 20 years what they've been doing have not been working. So they're really open now for that change, that leadership. Because they're now like. They're awake.
But it took for an older woman to go through that, to recognize that. And see, when they recognize that to some capacity, they still kind of have that in them. So when a real man step to them, they still set. You can't break it. You can't break a habit.
No, I don't agree.
It's hard to break a habit. Once you develop a habit, it's hard to break it. So basically, older women create habits. So you have to, and again,
I feel like people just get together. They don't be on the same.
Yeah, you're not on the same frequency.
They don't be on the same. They don't even really like each other. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like that be the problem. Like, people just want to be together just to get a ring.
And let me be honest.
Just to say they got a man. Just to say they got. Just to have somebody to sleep or have a movie night with. Like, that shouldn't matter. Like, you know what I mean? It should be really like, dang, like, what can we do together? Like, how we are vibing? Like, how we get along? Like, what is our religious background with one another? Like, if you're an older man trying to teach a younger girl that's good. If you're a younger man dealing with an older woman and she's teaching you that's good. But I don't think it has anything to do with a woman not just being set in her ways. It just has something to do with the right man coming along and bringing that out of her.
And just to kind of top on that, how we grew up is important.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, everybody's normal is not your normal. So I know I grew up, both of my parents got remarried. You know what I mean? So for me, having that experience of what a household is on both sides, the person across the street might not have had a mama and daddy in the crib. They might have been growing up with grandma. So only thing that they learn from their grandparents is what they take, because we're computers. We only pass down what we're taught. And the older we get, we just make conscious choices on how we can apply and how we move with certain folks. The issue comes in is when, like I said, everybody's normal is not the same. So now you got scenarios to where you got the drug dealer, right? Drug dealer probably didn't have certain relationships, or he made a choice to be in a certain level of life. Now, if you're in a certain level of life, that means you have to be a dictator because you have to have control over a scenario that kind of puts you on the back burner. So how you treat people in that lifestyle, I completely understand because it's all about how they want things to happen. She doesn't have a say so. She's the girl sitting in the Benz. But that doesn't take away from her character. That doesn't take away. And I really want to apologize, like I said, on behalf of men for that, because that's completely unhealthy. Because we don't know the type of mental damage that gives a person. And like I said, she's got to pass her life and her experiences to somebody else. And who knows the type of effect that will have on what you got going on. So.
And even with age, even with experience, it's tones, how you talk to any individual. So to piggyback off a younger woman, an older man wanting a younger woman, he might hit her with a certain tone, that she's never heard before. And she might be attracted to that.
Intrigued.
And you got to think, older men have daughters. So the same way he would treat his daughter, he's going to treat the younger lady the same way. And it's a tone. It's a character.
All right, so last question before we wrap it up. We are going to talk about the infamous Drea Michelle. Is that her name? Drea Michelle, beautiful girl, in her 40s. And then she's dating Jalen Williams. Is that name? From basketball. What team is he?
It's Jalen though.
What team is he with? Jalen?
Well, it was with Houston Rockets.
I don't know where he is now. Okay, but y'all know
Golden State.
right?
Yeah.
Oh,
No, I think he went
He the point guard for
I think he went to the
Look it up. Google.
stop.
He's like, come on now. What you want me to do? Okay, so we're going to talk about the infamous Drea Michelle, 39 years old. She's dating the young Jalen Green, Houston Rockets NBA player, and he's 22. So what is your perspective
I
on
don't
that?
see nothing wrong with it.
Okay, Corey says no.
I don't see-
Why?
Why? Because she's not too old, and he's in the middle of still learning being a man. He's already got the necessity part of being a man because he's in the NBA.
Okay, so can I add this? So she has a son that's the same age as Jalen Green.
What's the problem?
She has a son that is the same age as Jalen Green. The person she's
What's the
dating.
problem? She wanted.
that.
What's the problem? See, the problem is her son is grown. He grown. At this point.
Okay.
That's
Your daughter is dating
Okay.
an older man. See,
I can't control. My daughter grown.
But at 22,
She grown. She grown. But I wouldn't like it. But
Okay,
let's be real. The reality of it is she's grown. If she handling her business and he's taking care of my daughter like I would take care of my daughter grown. I can't control what my daughter do.
If you like it or not, how do you control it? You said you don't like
That
it.
point. I wouldn't like it, but that's my daughter.
Yeah.
You know,
This is what I'm saying.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Vicky,
I've been doing personal security for over 17 years. I actually did Drea. Drea has been in such the limelight for so long, she doesn't know what it is. Her normal is not our normal. So Drea, she's not going to be with anybody, just like Lisa Ray.
Okay.
They're not going to be with nobody who's a 9 to 5. Because the top 1% or 5% of African Americans that got a bag on them, their life is going to continue and they're going to choose. And age is not the issue. What they want is security. Just because her son's 22 years old, that ain't got nothing to do with who she dates. Because her son don't have a say-so over mom and who she dates.
Well, I mean, it does have a.
You can feel a certain type of way, but you're not gonna. My final decision is mine.
It does.
And sometimes that's the wrong truth that people don't like to understand. Like if I got a 22-year-old and I'm in the NBA and I'm dating somebody that's that age, like I've taken care of my child. That's the obligation of who I'm taking care of has nothing to do with who I'm fucking. But when you got people that's older that want a certain lifestyle that's not going to give it up and don't really care, my man's not a minor.
I'm not looking at Drea per se. I'm more so looking at Jalen because I feel like with men, like Drea, like you said, Drea's been in the limelight for a long time.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
I don't see her necessarily pursuing men. I see men more so pursuing her. And I feel like with Jalen, by him being younger, I feel like Drea was probably somebody that he watched, you know what I'm saying, saw, like favored and wanted and went after and got, you know what I'm saying? Now, did it get deeper with a baby and the paparazzi and all that? Maybe for him, but I feel like a lot of guys, Drake, even J. Cole, like, you know, they go after the girls that they wanted when they was nobodies, when they was younger, whether they older or not. Like, that's, you know what I mean? Like, if you could afford to do it, you're going to do it. And in Jalen case, he could afford to do it. And in Drea case, he could afford to have me. So
If that was my son at 22 and had a 39-year-old, I couldn't be mad at it. Only thing I can prepare him for is some of her ways and some things that she probably might do.
And majority of the time, an older woman dating a younger guy is not going to make too many waves. Because if the younger guy is the ticket, she's not going to make waves for that, which means based upon her life experience, she can give him something he's never had. Now, that's something that's a complete gem. I hope that rang everybody's bell. But the fact that Jalen's never had somebody who's been in the limelight that long, she don't want to deal with the older. She wants somebody who's spry, in shape. Let's be honest. Everybody in the NBA, they're a particular stature. They're over 6'7". Dre's not short. She wants the financial security, how it looks, and she's not worried about how old her kid is. She's worried about, am I going to be this way for the rest of my life because I choose to live this lifestyle? And can he, because I have a choice, can he provide that for me?
I get what you're saying, sort of, but I don't see myself trying to compete with a younger woman. I don't even want to be in the same space as 20-year-olds. Like, I don't want no bar.
yeah, let her
I
talk.
see a 20-something-year-old as a competition for me, like a competition with me, because I feel like we're not even looking at the same men, though.
I'm
because
sorry.
Let's be real. 20-somethings are not checking for 40, 50-year-olds.
She admit they not.
40, 50-year-old men are checking for a 20-something-year-old woman. The 20-something women are looking within their age group. And I'm not checking for a 20-something-year-old man.
Let me ask you a question. Do I look like I'm 44? Do I look like I'm 44 years old?
I would have said you're 40.
Right. So why wouldn't a 22 or 23-year-old look at me?
Let's put it on the table. Yeah, you're a handsome guy, and you don't look like you're like, okay, like if you were like 44 but you look 50. Okay, that is not the case. So you can probably pull a 20-something-year-old, but I feel like it would have to be you pursuing them.
No, you're wrong. You're wrong. Because not to brag. Not to brag. Hold on.
Because I have been a 20-something-year-old. Hold up. We were not
Hold up.
For 40-year-olds, we were like, ew. You daddy.
Hold up.
As long as I smell it.
Not to brag, not to toot my horn, but I attract the hell out of 22 and 23-year-old women, and they come to me. I don't say nothing. So I'm not even finna sit here and let you do that. Because at the end of the day, like I told you, these women are acting older. And so they want older men. They want the security. They want to feel like they're safe.
I don't think they're acting older, right? They want money.
Right, they
expect you to be at a certain level in your life at a certain
Exactly.
Okay.
Are we gonna talk about America or where we currently live? We're gonna make this about Atlanta. Let's keep this a buck. It's 18. Okay, we're gonna make it about Atlanta. It's 18 to 1. It's 18.
So what? Ain't nobody going for that?
Bro, here's what I'm saying though. You rather deal with somebody fresh like me than to do with a Nike hoodie and a shiesty on. Exactly. That's all I'm trying to say.
Not really.
You're not dealing with nobody that's on the block with Dre.
20-something-year-old men now are like not good pickings for the 20-something-year-old men.
No. Let's be completely clear.
They always
The ones that are doing something with their life to make a woman feel comfortable enough to choose him, yes. But the actual 20-year-old, how many 20-year-olds you see doing something with themselves that you haven't seen on the computer? Most 20-year-olds you see is outside doing something with somebody else. They not being a pillar to the community.
It's pressure anyway for a man to be dating women.
Sister to Sister fans, that's a wrap for this episode. I hope you enjoyed all the opinions and point of views shared by our amazing guest panelists. Special thanks to our production crew, Lexi and B, and of course to our special panelists, Pink, Big E, Jordan, and Mr. Corey. Stay tuned for our upcoming sports edition of the podcast, where we'll be talking about the top NFL teams and sleeper picks to watch this season. Stay tuned.